Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a here we go, but it's not for the player that we were hoping for. But nonetheless, the fan base is really gassed about this player. We've got a lot to talk about today, so let's get on with this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on with the latest Chelsea transfer news over the last 12 to 24 hours. Lots have been happening. We are busy as a bee. Let's look into this straight away. First of all, for everyone that's a bit worried about Marc Cucurella, Barcelona possibly coming, Gerard Romero is absolutely taking the piss over here. Look at this. Chelsea fan, be calm. Barcelona won't be gone for Cucurella. I love this comment from Matisse over here, which made me laugh. Please take a lol. Man said, relax, I won't take your lunch money today. Run along now. It's just, I think we should just calm down. I don't think Barcelona is coming for this player. Look, I thought by now, since the last stream was what, close to 8 hours or so ago. I thought by now we would have had a here we go for Marc Cucurella, but I think let's stay patient. We know that the personal terms have been agreed for Marc Cucurella, and it's just a matter of now Chelsea agreeing the fee with Brighton, which we know how much Brighton wants, and Chelsea have no obligations on that. I mean, they don't have any negative to say about that particular price tag. They want to accept it. So hopefully we can get that done. All right, next up, this is the here we go, ladies and gentlemen, that we got from Chelsea today. Obviously coming from Fabrizio Romano, but even Chelsea main admin page has tweeted this out. I don't know much about this player. To be honest, I don't even think I've seen him play for Aston Villa. Apparently he featured for Aston Villa 11 times or 12 times last season, started twice. And the fan base is very excited about him. Some people are saying he's got a shade of, Paul Pogba in him. Some are saying, mixture between Ryan Gravenberch, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and a couple of other players in midfield. I mean, I've seen a few clips since then. He looks like a decent enough player. We've apparently bought him for 15 million. Let's have a look at this. More on Carney Chukwuemeka deal. That's his name, Carney Chukwuemeka. Been told player will travel to London tonight. Fee around 15 million plus add-ons. So some people are saying it's close to 20 million. Chelsea will seal 6-year deal valid until 2028. Medical scheduled on Wednesday for Carney, who will be unveiled as new signing later this week. Big surprise. I mean, nearly 20 million for a. I don't know whether he's going to be a starter. Some publications, journalists out there are saying that he's probably going to be part of the starting setup. He's a kid. I'm pretty sure he's like under 20s. If I'm right, Carney Chukwuemeka fee is around 15 million plus add-ons. Medical tomorrow. Yeah, it's interesting. I just want to actually quickly have a look at his age. Carney Chukwuemeka. Let me just grab that. How old is this kid? It's interesting to see his age. 18. He is 18 actually. I mean, look, I like what Chelsea is doing here with the likes of Omari Hutchinson, with Gabriel Slolina, Chukwuemeka. There's also talks about apparently this Brazilian wonder kid who I've not seen too much clips of. Maybe some of you guys have seen it. But I think Chelsea is really focusing on developing something for the future, making sure they give the right ingredients to Neil Bath as well, who's an important part of the entire setup, the academy setup. It could be a big play here from Todd Bowley, and one to look out for. I think they're just setting up nicely with all these talented players across, I suppose, in UK, and making sure, and with Endrick, which we'll touch on, Brazilian wonder kid, just making sure that down the track, these kids become ballers and could be part of the first team setup, and which makes hopefully life a lot easier in terms of not having to spend insane amount of money in the transfer window. So look, it could be a big time play for down the track. Look at this. one of the things that I've really liked about Chukwuemeka situation is that we've beaten Barcelona at least once. For once, Rashid Rahman tweeted this out 17th July, so not that long ago. Carney Chukwuemeka's asking price is about 23.5 million euros. Barca leading the race right now. It's great to see that they're in the mud for this. I mean, Barca was going for it. They were considering 23.5 million. So there's something about this kid. A lot of people are saying he would have gone to Dortmund. That would have been a replacement for Jude Bellingham. And there's high praise. Check out some of his clips. Apparently, he's someone who can be box-to-box in midfield. He can play as an attacking midfielder. Definitely an 8. Some are saying I don't think he suits as a sitter, as a DM. But it makes me think, if you're going for these type of players, and they're not coming cheap, players like Chukwuemeka, what does that mean for Declan Rice down the track? I mean, and also, I suppose, some of the futures of our current players, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Conor Gallagher, and the likes. I'm all out for these type of players. No, don't get me wrong about it. I'm just thinking, if they are part of the first team setup, then it causes a bit of a stir up for the others. And also, what does some of our academy players think about this as well? Something interesting to have a conversation about. Daniel Finkelstein, as you guys know, he's part of the Chelsea setup as well. The guy who's leading the data analytics. He's tweeted out off the back of this particular tweet from the Chelsea admin page. Aston Villa and Chelsea can confirm that the clubs have reached an agreement for the permanent transfer of Carney Chukwuemeka. The 18-year-old has been given permission to travel to London to discuss personal terms. And Finkelstein quote tweeted saying, "We are looking to the future, and what a future we have." I think this is what it comes down to. I want to quickly just show you something from LDN. I think that's the one. Yeah, there's a nice tweet from. Generally, this particular account is a bit of a generic account. But look at this one. Carney Chukwuemeka, 18. Omari Hutchinson, 18. Gabriel Solina, 18. Chelsea are building for the future. I mean, it's written. It's right there in front of our eyes what Chelsea's trying to do. And they're investing a fair amount to making sure that the future is secured. Carney Chukwuemeka will be part of the first team squad straight away from the off. Alex Crook talks sport. And further goes on to say, Chukwuemeka has been described to me as a generational talent. So, look, as I've been saying, if he's part of the first team squad, we've spent 20 million. You'd think he's probably will be, unless, for me, it's too much to be in the academy. 20 million to be in the academy. I don't think so. If he's the setup in the first team, then you best believe Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley, don't even think about it. You need to start moving on, my man. Even the likes of Conor Gallagher and so on and so forth, I just don't know. Declan Rice, I don't think, how are you going to have a chance? Like, there's so many players. Unless we're thinking down the track, obviously, Jorginho, Kante in their final year, maybe we won't renew their contract. It's interesting to see. But I think Chelsea are now, one thing that can be said is, they're not just looking at now, but they're looking at down the track as well, so that we're not in the mud in the future, that we do have players that we recognize right away and ready to be in the setup for the coming future. So look, Ruben Loftus-Cheek apparently has said that he doesn't want to leave Chelsea Football Club. Simon Phillips tweeted that out. If you're interested, check that out. Breaking: Thomas Tuchel met Chukwuemeka last week to help convince him in a meeting down at Cobham, which is great. Look, even Thomas Tuchel seems to believe this player, which is great. Now, next up is this particular lad, ladies and gentlemen, Endrick. The secret scout has been talking about this particular player and has been saying that he's possibly come to Chelsea Football Club. And there's a clip of Endrick which showcases, his talent. He's scored a goal outside of the box. I think it was an overhead kick. Many are saying this is the real deal. Neymar sort of regen. Gabriel Jesus, bit of in him as well. This is the big thing from Brazil. Look, we've missed out on so many of this wonder kid from Brazil. It'll be good, like obviously, as you can see now with Real Madrid, with Vinicius Jr. If you can get a hold of a player like this down the track, why not? Joined Palmeiras at the age of 11, scored 165 goals in 169 games for the youth team in 5 years. That's That's not bad. That is some scary stats. Played in Copinia under 20, youngest ever Copinia best player winner with 7 goals in 7 games. Happy 16th. 16, my days. He's a baby, man. My goodness. But look, apparently this is the real deal, and we are really building for the future. Look, I'm all down for these sort of things, man. After seeing what Vinicius Junior has done in Real Madrid, I'm all up for it. Okay, next up, ladies and gentlemen, let me know, ladies and gentlemen, how you feel about the whole acquisition of all these young players. Future looks very bright. Are you okay with spending that amount of money for players like Chukwuemeka, nearly 20 million or so? What does it mean for some of our current players? Let me know. I would love to hear what you think about it. Wesley Fofana now, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is now making it evident on social media, going around liking tweets from Chelsea fans which are positive towards him. He wants Chelsea. Look, I like that. I definitely like that. He's not hiding the fact that he wants Chelsea. We'll touch on, apparently he's removed his Leicester stuff from his bio as well. I think it's clear he wants it. I think it's also clear that he is wanting Leicester to at least entertain it. I still believe it's going to cost a bit of money. Leicester's looking at letting go of Madison. They are in the process of letting go Kasper Schmeichel as well. Are they going to be in a scenario with less than few days away, 4 days away until Premier League kick starts, where they are potentially looking at losing Schmeichel, losing Madison, losing Wesley Fofana? We are linked with Vardy, which I'll touch on. Like, I don't see how all of this happens, and it's going to be a devastating situation for Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers, once again, has come out and said, this guy is not for sale. But Wesley Fofana is not holding back in social media. So look, Wesley Fofana is doing bits internally to put pressure on Leicester. This is from Adam Newson. Further goes on to say Wesley Fofana wants to join Chelsea, but there's no official bid yet. That's from Nathan Gissing. Fofana now has removed Leicester from both his Instagram and Twitter bio. There you go, man. If you believe in things like that, I suppose, yeah, make what you want to make out of it. We know Christian Pulisic did that as well, and there's rumors that he wants to leave. So that's about Wesley Fofana. Look, I think Wesley Fofana's acquisition, it won't be a bad acquisition, no doubts about that. He's a talented CB, and I think he can play in the CCB or in the RCB. He can be part of the back two as four at the back if we need to down the track. And I guess once again, we're looking not just this particular season, we're looking for future seasons. Players like Azpilicueta leaving, players like Thiago Silva potentially leaving as well down the track. And we don't know, I suppose, how players like Chalobah and whatnot, how they're going to develop in regards to their position in the team. So someone like Wesley Fofana just brings a lot more competition, and there is a need for CBs down the track. So yeah, look, I think he's a very good purchase, but the money is what sort of concerns me. Is that's a lot of money to risk for a player like Wesley Fofana. But that's just my thought. You let me know how you feel. Let's now talk about this player. Interesting development happening on Frankie de Jong. The Tuchel pushing for Frankie de Jong. This is from Simon Johnson Sport The Athletic. Further goes on to say the impression is that UCL football makes Chelsea more attractive than Manchester United. Barca's interest in Aspi and Alonso also provides potential leverage in talks over price. One to watch. Unlikely to move forward rapidly this week, however. Look, we talked about how recently in regards to Frankie de Jong's scenario in Barcelona. Barcelona wants this guy gone. They are going to struggle registering some of the new players if they don't get rid of Frankie de Jong's wages. Frankie de Jong is on decent wage over there. It's only around 400k euros per week or something. And now they're trying to make him, leave the club in such a manner where they're pushing him to play centre-back position. They're really trying to, bully him out of there. They owe him money. Manchester United fans need to calm down. He never wanted to go to Man United. It's a step down for him. They play Europa League. And there are now strong rumours that he will consider Chelsea because of the Champions League. And Gary Neville, in recent times, have tweeted as well that in his trip in America, when he was covering some of the friendlies over there, some people have told him that Frankie de Jong does not fancy Man United and would definitely consider Chelsea Football Club. And Thomas Tuchel has wanted Frankie de Jong previously, and I think in midfield, I find it very hard to put all of this now, because with the acquisition of Chukwuemeka, I mean, how do you bring in Frankie de Jong as well? I would love Frankie de Jong. I think he can play 6, 8, 10, anywhere in midfield. He's such a creative player, great vision, great ball playing ability. He's got it all. He's recently been playing centre back as well, and apparently he has played centre back in Ajax days. So look, I don't know how this will happen, and as the reports are saying, this is not something that is at all advanced. So, and now with the Chukwuemeka thing, I honestly don't see how we also get him. We got to get rid of a hell of a lot of midfielders before we can even think about getting him. Unless, as I said, once again, Jorginho doesn't sign a contract extension, Kante doesn't sign a contract extension, which I think one of them will stay, if not both. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, this is out of the box a little bit, but someone I can understand. I think you guys will probably feel the same way as well, most of you guys. Exclusive. Chelsea are considering many options for right-back position to be discussed after Cucurella, Kyle Walker-Peters. One of the options alongside Denzel Dumfries. Dumfries top of the list, but Inter want to keep him. Still no bid. Walker-Peters discussed internally. Matt Law has talked about this as well. Look, see, this, along with Cucurella, Cucurella can play LCB as well. And obviously he'll be considered highly for the left wing back position. And now we're talking about Dumfries. Well, recently we've talked about Dumfries, but now we're also talking about Kyle Walker-Peters. Firstly, in regards to Kyle Walker-Peters, I think he's a decent player. I watched a bit of Southampton last season. I was very impressed with Kyle Walker-Peters. And he was playing on the left side as well at times, because Tino Livramento was playing on the right side. So he's capable of playing right or left. I think he's probably more strong on the right side. He's got robust pace. He can take his man on and put in a nice cross. He can get into goal-scoring positions. So he's got all that ability. And I think, it would be a great backup for Reece James. But it's this type of player that makes me think that more and more Thomas Tuchel will probably consider Reece James to be an RCB every now and then. Not always, but I think he's weary that Reece James's body may not hold up. And when I think about Reece James possibly playing as an RCB, that's when I start thinking, well, where does Wesley Fofana fit into all of that? Because if you're going to play at times Reece James as RCB, well, I personally think Wesley Fofana would play that position, unless you think Wesley Fofana will play as a CCB, which is, you do need to have very good ball playing ability, which I don't think Wesley Fofana is that bad, but he does need to develop a bit more. So this is when I start thinking how possible is, or how much does it make sense to get Wesley Fofana? If you're going to get another wingback, which I think we should, we need another wingback on the right side, but that will push Reece James sometimes in RCB, which then makes me think, well, that's another player in the defense, right? Chelsea made inquiries over Walker-Peters, but Southampton's valuation is on the high side, and it's not certain Chelsea will follow up with a bid or bid. So look, I still think Dumfries is the top target, but now that we're interested, if it's not Dumfries, it looks like we're keen to get a right wing back. Kyle Walker-Peters could be a shot. Look, I don't know what their valuation is, Southampton's. I don't think it should be any more than 25, 30 million max, 30 million, I'd say 30, 35 million. I'd be flabbergasted, to be honest, if it's like in the 40 million region, because that's what Dumfries is worth as well. Dumfries is actually 40 million euros. And at this moment, you definitely take Dumfries over Kyle Walker-Peters. But let me know, ladies and gentlemen, really want to hear about you guys, how you feel about the Kyle Walker situation. Okay, this is interesting. As I said to some of you guys, after the Cucurella, hopefully the Cucurella situation gets done and dusted ASAP. We get the here we go. And after that, I really want to push in social media propaganda everywhere about Memphis Depay. I think he would be the closest thing to Gabriel Jesus, in my opinion, that we should have gone for up front. And I think his profile fits Thomas Tuchel, what he wants. I would have gone for Ronaldo. You know how I feel about Ronaldo. But I think from a profile point of view, maybe Ronaldo is not someone that Tuchel fancies. And Tuchel has, apparently there's been some reports saying that he doesn't fancy him at all. Memphis Depay, I think, along with Sterling, along with Mount or Havertz, whoever else, up front would be great. You have someone like Memphis Depay who's capable of playing anywhere in the front three and will roam around. And this is what Thomas Tuchel wants. And I think Sterling will allow him to play in his strongest position, which is on the left side. But he can also interchange with Depay, who can be a false nine. This player makes sense, and it gets even more tastier now. And check this out. Exclusive: Barcelona and Memphis Depay lawyers are in negotiations to reach an agreement on free agency. I mean, Barca are so desperate to getting rid of him. They just want to, terminate the contract. And also, I think that Memphis Depay realizes that with all the players that have come in, he's not going to get any minutes. Aubameyang, Lewandowski, Rafinha, he just won't get minutes over there. No way for 20 million fee. Depay will accept to leave Barca only in case he'll find the right option for his future. Memphis Depay will only consider top clubs. I think we should definitely go for this player. Some fans are worried that not Memphis Depay in the Premier League. He failed the first time around, but he's 28 now. He's matured. I feel like he's fine-tuned his game. There was a lot of hype the first time, but the situation might have just got to him at that time. I think this is probably the right time again to just give it a shot. And he may be on a free transfer. Do you know what I mean? I know they'll be signing on fees, there'll be wages, but as long as we can keep all of that in check as to how much we're paying, I think this is worth taking a shot, on a maybe 3-year contract. I don't see anything wrong with it. But we're also linked with this guy. Chelsea are monitoring Jamie Vardy, according to Graham Bailey. Jamie Vardy, look, 15 Premier League goals last season? He's been a talisman for Leicester Football Club. Age is what concerns me, though. He is 35. But he's good, man. Like, he'll press from the front. He's mobile. He's perfect when it comes to a counter-attacking move. How well would he be in tight spaces against low blocks or predominantly the teams that we're going to come across, where we're going to have to engineer a goal? But I think his link up with Sterling, Mount, Havertz, all the players I've been saying, could potentially work out as well, much like Memphis Depay. But the age, I think with Memphis Depay, 28, far more mobile. I don't know how many more years you're going to get out of Jamie Vardy, although physically he seems still very, very good. But what type of contract would you give Jamie Vardy? He's only got 1 more year left, so you could potentially get him for cheap as well. But Memphis Depay will probably be on a free. Then again, as I said, signing on fee and whatnot. So look, and this puts another spanner on Leicester. Another player that they possibly could lose, whether it's us or another club. It just makes you think that are they also going to get rid of Maddison, Fofana, and Kasper Schmeichel is on the way out. So look, ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about Jamie Vardy, Memphis Depay. It's quite clear. I think we're going for wing backs, maybe a midfielder, and definitely attackers. No doubt about that. We will probably get someone up, whether it's a false nine, whether it's a striker. We're definitely interested to get someone in the attack as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been wild, the amount of transfer news we've had to go through today. Nothing yet from any publications in regards to Cucurella, but don't get worried. I think he should be a Chelsea player. Just having a look if there's anything special going on in the news at the moment for Cucurella, something late coming up now in regards to Malang Sarr moving on to Monaco as well, perhaps, which is great news for us. But yeah, I can't see at the moment anything latest in regards to Cucurella, but hopefully we get something. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.